Hello, this is Julia Rankenberg. Today's session, I will be providing you a high-level overview of the SurveyMonkey Apply Reviewer Portal for C-Test and Treat. Your first step is to create an account on SurveyMonkey Apply. The web address, as displayed here, capfoundation.smapply, SMAPPLY.io. And again, this is your first step to be able to access SurveyMonkey Apply is to create an account. Accounts consist of an email address and a password, so they're pretty easy to set up. Once applications are vetted by CAP staff and you have your account set up in SurveyMonkey, we will start assigning applications for you to review. When assignments are made, each reviewer will receive an email notice similar to the one currently displayed. When you receive this email notice, you'll be prompted to log back into your account on SurveyMonkey Apply. You may receive a screen, such as what's being displayed, encouraging you to either log in, assuming you've established an account, or register, which would give you the option to create an account as a new user. So once you've logged into your reviewer dashboard, and let's assume you received the email notice through the SurveyMonkey Apply site that you have applications to review, you go to the site, you log in, and your reviewer dashboard will display something like the example currently being shown. For me, I assigned myself a C-Test and Treat application and a RIPI grant for a laboratory quality assurance application. So for this demo, we're only focusing on C-Test and Treat. So my first action here would be to select the blue Start button for C-Test and Treat. After I've selected that, the application or applications for C-Test and Treat will appear, and you can select the one that you'd like to start with. For example, we have White Plains Hospital. So for me to start the review process, I am going to select, once again, the Start button. So now my selected application is open. And on this screen, I want to point out the setup and some functionality. So SurveyMonkey provides reviewers with a split screen view. You have a left side and a right side. The left side reflects the entire application submitted, the pre-qualifying form, the actual completed application, the submitted budget, and the letters of support. Now, all this information again is presented on the left side of your screen. You can scroll up and down to review this information, but please note that it is review only or read only mode. The right side of the screen is the actual reviewer form where you can score each grant application response and add comments. So overall, this screen setup is not ideal, as it will cause the reviewer to scroll up and down to see the definitions of each scoring category. And then you'd have to go back to the question, review the response, and then select the appropriate score. Another item I wanted to point out on this screen is some functionality. So you'll see that in the middle bar, there's an arrow pointing to, looks like a square with some dots in it. This gives you the ability to expand or contract your view on the right side of the screen. Looking at the upper right-hand corner, there's another arrow which points to the scroll bar on the right-hand side of the screen. So with SurveyMonkey functionality, it gives you many opportunities to scroll within screens and also to change your view. Here again, just looking at some functionality. Again, on the left-hand side of the screen, the blue arrow gives you the ability to change the screen width. And then on the right side of the screen, some additional functionality in terms of looking at the double-headed arrow gives you the ability to change your screen size to a full screen if you choose to do so. Our next screenshot, so you'll notice on the left-hand side, now the application category is selected. And clicking on application will give you the opportunity to scroll through the entire application to review the responses, again, to the pre-qualifying form, the grant application, review the budget submitted, and the letters of support. But unfortunately, on the left-hand side of the screen, all this information is displayed, but it's in read-only mode. I did create a workaround to have the left screen list the scoring rubric, so reviewers can use the right screen to actually review and score the applications. So the right side of the screen is your interactive part, but we'll talk more about this after the next few slides. But again, look at some of the functionality here. Again, there's the opportunity to scroll through the application on the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the screen. So scrolling on the left-hand side of the screen, and remember we're in application mode as indicated by the top red arrow. So scrolling on the left reveals the pre-qualifying questionnaire. And as a reminder, this is a series of yes and no questions to make sure that the applicant has the resources in place to review, to support the 4 core components of See, Test, and Treat. Again, we're just reviewing this if you'd like. There's no scoring here. And an applicant has to respond yes to all the questions on the pre-qualifying form in order to move forward with the grant application. So staying on the left-hand side of the screen, we scroll down a little bit more and we have come to the See, Test, and Treat grant application form, which includes contact information along with the responses to all the questions. So remember, the left-hand side, you can scroll through the entire application, but again, it's in read-only mode. The right side is where you will be scrolling and doing the actual scoring and adding comments. Still staying on the left side of the screen, we scroll down a little bit more and we can see that the individual attached a budget. With the budget worksheet, you can review to determine what amount of funding is being requested. Still staying on the left side of the screen, we scroll a little bit more and then the screen brings up whatever letters of support have been attached. There's no scoring here. Once again, it's review only. So as I stated earlier, I created a workaround to have the left screen list the scoring rubric so reviewers can use the right screen, which is the interactive part of the scoring mechanism, to review and score applications. So in order to get the rubric to display on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the red arrow is pointing to a subcategory called Instructions. You need to click on that and the rubric will appear on the left-hand side. So now the left screen displays the scoring rubric. This should stay static through the rest of your review, which will allow you to scroll down on the right side of the screen, again, so you can read and score the application. So here we are in this view. Again, the left side stays static. The right side, we're using the scroll bar, which is indicated by the top red arrow, and we start to scroll through the application to review the question, the applicant response, put in some scoring, and add our reviewer comments. Just note that each question has been labeled to match up with an indicator of success measure. Next to the applicant response is listed, and then followed by some scoring categories, which is followed by the reviewer comment box. And note that reviewer comments are optional in all areas. And again, Note that the left side stays static while you scroll through the right side of your screen. As you go through all the questions and score the application, it automatically tallies the overall rubric score and breaks the scores among the individual categories, the indicators of success categories. I updated the system to allow reviewers to edit scores. If you want to be extra safe, you can mark your reviews as saved draft, which is highlighted by the blue arrow on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, and then come back and edit as needed. When you're confident, 100% sure that you're finished, you can mark as complete. Even in instances where perhaps you mark as complete, the system should let you edit your review now that I have hopefully updated some of the back-end settings. But again, if you want to be extra safe, mark everything as draft, and then come back when you feel 100% confident you're done, and then mark as complete. I have also updated the settings to allow reviewers to see other reviewers. So you as a reviewer A could see something that was submitted by reviewer B in terms of their scores and their comments. So now going back to the left-hand side of the screen, if you click on the category titled Reviews, then other reviewers' information in terms of their scores and comments should appear. You'll see this white bar appears, and if you hover on the white bar and looking at the green arrow that's being displayed, an icon should appear, and selecting this will allow you to see other reviewer scores for each response. If you'd like, you can also download your reviews. So moving your attention to the right-hand side of the screen, the red arrow, if you click on the ellipsis, the three little dots, it'll give you the option to download your reviews if you would like to read them offline, whether as a file or print out as a paper copy. This concludes the high-level overview of the SurveyMonkey Apply, See, Test, and Treat site. If you have any questions or would like to walk through the application together, please do not hesitate to contact me via email at jranken@cap.org, jranken@cap.org, or 847-832-7931.